Hey, I'm Wayde Kirvida from CustomFIRE, and behind me today is a new top-mount custom pumper we just built for Longville, Minnesota. This truck's built on a Spartan FC94 chassis, features a top-mount Waterous 1250 GPM fire pump, and a bolted aluminum rescue pumper apparatus body. A lot of cool features on this truck, so let's take a look. Starting from the back and moving forward, on the rear compartment we have a couple upper level adjustable shelves and then a pull-out tray on the bottom section. Now when we build a body, we usually need at least 14 inches up above for the roll-up door bundle to fit, and we can go all the way to 29 inches deep. In this case, the body is 16 inches overall depth, and that just gives them that extra couple of inches for extra space in the upper level. Over the rear wheels, we have one adjustable shelf, and then in the forward portion, we have storage for a couple fire extinguishers. This compartment's pretty well laid out. In the forward portion, we have it designated with a strap to secure a little giant ladder. We have a perforated aluminum panel for mounting tools. And down below, we have a C-Tech toolbox with a pan-style shelf above that. The top-mounted module in this case is a style with overhead crosslays. I'm sure you've seen where we can put them under the walkway or right behind the cab or under the controls, but this configuration really keeps the overall length to a minimum. This truck is 35 feet long, and with the crosslays up above, the pump panel can be quite short, and it also provides the best access to the front of the fire pump for service. We also have lift-up inspection doors and then removable side panels on both sides of the truck. We have twin panels in this case because we have a rigid support down the center, and that's basically just so we have a flip-up step to access the deck on up above. But you can see here that there's just excellent access to the fire pump system. Beautiful pump panel here, extremely well laid out, very easy to see everything. We have the innovative controls, T-style, top mount control handles, FoamPro 1600, pump boss, pressure governor, and then on this truck they decided to stick with the Waterous electric primer. We also have pre-primes for all the large diameter intakes. Now I'll confess, we don't do this very often on trucks, but when we do, it's a pretty neat feature that we have. We've cut in some large windows in the back of the cab. That really adds to the lightness inside the cab, also gives the pump operator a lot better awareness, you know, seeing through the cab, through the windshield. All in all, just a neat feature to add. In the rear portion of the cab, we have a few things to talk about. We put a door in the stepwell that allows you to get to the DEF. Behind the engine tunnel, we mounted a shelf, and they have like their gang box for handheld radios. Below that, we have a couple brackets that hold the rubber glove boxes. In this case, we have one forward-facing center seat rather than two. So they have a total seating capacity of 5 on this truck. And behind the seats on the floor, there's a couple map pockets. So throughout the cab, they've put a lot of thought into the layout and where they can keep their added equipment. The back of this truck is really well laid out. We have slide-in storage for the ladders, slide-in storage for two 10-foot hard hoses with a pre-attached strainer. We have an external 6-inch rear intake, and then a nice step-in and walkway along the hose bed up above. With the doors open, you can see the ease of access to the slide-in ladders, pike poles, and then also the hard hose, and as I said, a pre-attached low-level strainer, so they can just pull that sucker out, hook it up, and drop it right in the folding tank, go up, hit their pre-prime, and they're all set up to transition from the booster tank to their folding tank. I do get asked a lot if we can put the rear intake inside the back compartment. That lends to maybe more clean or uniform look. We certainly do that. In this case, I personally think it's a good idea to have it external, especially if you're drafting a lot, because you can have a tendency to dump water inside your compartment when you're disconnecting that hose. So having it at the back does prevent that. And like many trucks we build, This is our stainless steel swing out drop down ladder, providing very confident and safe access to and from the hose bed. All right, I was curious to see what this looks like because I haven't been on top of this truck until now, and I'm glad I came up here because this is pretty awesome. It's a very unique layout, and I think we'll be doing this more in the future. Obviously, it's like a rescue style body with the boxed out, squad style panels on both sides. And when you do that, you do end up with some wasted space above the roll-up door bundles. There's wasted space and then there's usable space, right? And so a lot of times you'll use this area with coffin compartments because it's there. But I really like what they did here because this is like a U-shaped walkway. It goes all the way the full length of the body, across the front of the hose bed, and then back down the side. So just excellent access to the hose bed, very safe, and it's all very well lit. We have floor drains as well, so I'm very impressed by this. You can walk across the front of the hose bed and on both sides. You don't have those, old style catwalks and everything that we're all used to. This is just a really clean, excellent truck. Bed in this case is covered by this vinyl tarp. We do have an awning rail at the front to prevent air from coming underneath it, and then Velcroed on the sides, and then of course the shock cords on the bottom. The other thing you'll notice by the red label is that Dave at DNS Cover made this hose bed cover for us. He does the best work in the business, in my opinion. We have a nice heavy weighted end flap, and then he's sewn in some fiberglass cross members across the hose bed to support it at the back. And then I'll end the back end here by pointing out the traffic bar, the rear discharge, and then the fire spectra scene lights at the rear. Again, I really love how this truck is laid out. They did a great job with their selections for the design. On this side, we have some poly removable totes up front, air bottle storage down below, and an adjustable shelf. Over the rear wheels, we have several brackets for air packs. In the rear wheel, we have storage for 3 air bottles and a pull-out oil dry dispenser. And then finally in the back, we have a swing-out space saver fill station with adjustable shelving. And then you might notice that these corners on the body are thicker than normal. These ones are a foot because we have 2 air bottles in each side hidden in the back of the body. Those are obviously plumbed to the containment system. This truck does have a 2,000 watt inverter with several power strips and a transfer switch and duplex outlets throughout the body and chassis cab. We have recessed hose wells on both sides, and again the inspection doors and removable pump panels on this side as well. I'm going to point out a CustomFIRE detail that we've been doing for a couple decades now. It's our beveled body corners. You've seen other manufacturers copy this design, but we originated this one where it provides a recessed surface for the pole mount, keeps it from interrupting some discharges and connections. It's a great way to mount tail lights. Now finally we're at the front of the truck. And what I'll just point out here is that we have a raised lid on the hose well. That prevents water and debris from entering. Notched for pre-connected hose, which can come off this 2.5-inch swivel. So oftentimes you'll see a gated Y mounted here with some 1 3/4 pre-connected in, and then the other side capped, so you can add additional hose if need be. Wrapping up the week with a sunny day, an airplane running in the background, and a bright yellow fire truck behind me is a great way to sign off. I'm Wayde Kirvida from CustomFIRE. We all appreciate the time you take to watch these videos. We hope you find them informative, and we hope you consider us for your next acquisition of a pumper, rescue, or tanker. Thanks for watching.